Hello guys, this is RCSchim. Thanks for coming to my hangar. Today I have a nice unboxing, well, kind of unboxing for you. I was really looking forward to get my hands on the Vortex 250 Pro, and Immersion was cool enough to send me one for testing purpose. So we will see what's inside this nice box. Shipping took around 1 week. It's actually a bit like the IKEA suitcase that I found and that also Chapu used, and I really like the fact that I have the same thing here that Chapu uses, but I found it like way back before him. And this was around 20 euros at IKEA. You see a really well thought out storage option for your Vortex. And what I really love about this thing here is it's not just a foam layout. It's actually, well, it's part of the case with exactly the form molded into it that your Vortex wood props mounted can fit into it, because it's, yeah, look at it, it's really a tiny little power machine. But check this out in a second. So I didn't see this initially, and maybe a few of the guys who own this box didn't already find it, but on the bottom you have another zipper case as well, and you have some storage between the molds, so you can fill out this space here on the back side, for example with placing extra props or the batteries. Maybe it's good for the batteries. I will see this. A lot of space here, like it. So yes, I already took a look into it, so that's a fake unboxing, but I didn't have to assemble anything here. The only step that's left for you is to hook up your RC receiver and go to the setup steps, which are really easy. You don't even need RC knowledge to get this thing running. It's amazing what they did here. But we will see this obviously later. Here in this there are some accessories in there. Not sure if this is standard shipping or if they shipped me this for the review. It's the Pimp Kit Blue. So it's basically all the plastic parts on the bottom and also the side plastic parts. So you can have it either this red, dark red, or you can have them blue. Of course, to change the plastic parts you would have to unscrew a few screws here. Nothing too dramatic. And I guess I've also seen this in bright green, which also looks nice and poisonous. There's an extra battery strap, some stickers, some spare bullnose props. And these props actually look good. Let's make a quick run through the copter itself. It's a 250 size quad. This means 25 centimeters from motor to motor in diagonal. That's the most popular racing class. And this is a pre-built racing drone. So if you want to start your racing career, and if you don't want to get into too much of this RC stuff that can be really hard sometimes, you can get a pre-built one. Get a nice antenna with it. Everything you need for FP racing is inside this thing. This is the 700 TV Lines Fat Shark cam with 2.8mm lens, I guess. Nice thing is you can angle this easy. For beginners I would leave it straight. Intermediate would be like 10 degrees or so. And it really makes it easier to fly smooth forward with the top cam. You have a vibration isolated HD Camplate, which also carries the FPV camera. If you want to use a Mobius style cam, or like the Foxy Legend I have here, or the Run Cam 2, it's a bit of a tight fit and it could be in the view of your flying cam. And of course, in case of a crash, it will be the first to hit the concrete. So the antenna placement, okay, it's not a lot of space there, so it might be better to go with the GoPro. You have a built-in video transmitter, which can be configured with the on-screen display, and it starts when you don't use throttle. So if you're sitting there, waiting for the race to start, it will only transmit with 25 milliwatt. And if you start the race and fly, it will increase the power to, I guess, 350 milliwatts. So that's quite a clever idea. And you can set the power limit in the OSD. You get powerful motors, 2204 with 2300 kVs. This is 4S capable, so you can really fly, I estimate, around 100 kilometers per hour, but I would have to measure this with a little GPS logger. They have really fat 4mm carbon arms, and this is, it's amazingly rigid frame, so this is meant to take a lot of beating, and if you crash you shouldn't brake too much. Up here is the battery compartment. The only issue I found so far with the space could be, I mean, 2200 4-cell is really a big fat LiPo, and I'm not sure if this will work good on that. I think they are limited to like 1800 milliamps. Secure the cables so they don't get into the props. And you already see now the issue. If you don't use a really small transmitter, the space for the transmitter is very limited with this big LiPos. So of course it's designed to fly on these insanely powered Genseis Tattoo packs. They are rated at 75C with 1300 milliamps in 4-cell. Something about 100 amps. Yeah, so that's a really nice package. And moderate flying you should get like 4 minutes, I guess. I get 3 minutes with the heavier bullets, so this is lighter. I will have to measure this, but yeah, the specs should be known. And this is also one nice thing about such a pre-built copter. It's everyone will use the same specs, unless you're gonna start swapping the motors or the ESC, which for me at the moment makes no sense. Yeah, what else do we have? We have nice LEDs in the background with some magnification plastic thingy, and it's configurable which color you want. You have side protectors which protect your electronics. Yeah, the base plates say keep this down. It's important. In the insides you have an OSD. You have like an easy OSD in the small version, so you don't have GPS data on here obviously, but I think it has a barometer, so you see the alt, you see the voltages and the power you drained, and it has a very good flight controller on it. It's a custom built flight controller, but it's based on the Clean Flight, as the logo says here, and I really start to use Clean Flight because it worked so well and so smooth. And from what I've seen now, this is really locked in. You can use a few different tunes, pre-tuned by the pros. What else do you get? You get a bag with a GoPro mount. You get some additional cables for S-Bus receivers and spare props. Okay guys, so just to finish the build, I had to install the GoPro mount plate. Like they did it, it's more for the pros, because with this angle, yeah, you really fly fast if you have this as your forward flying. I may have to use a foam part to reduce the angle a bit. What was not so nice is to mount this plate, this shape here. You have to remove the safety plastic here, and unplug the plastic, the rubber bobbins, but you cannot easily access the rear rubber thingies here and unmount the security lock. So I had to angle it up to screw this screw in from the bottom. So that's a bit of a fiddling, and yeah, I see why they don't install this in the factory, because people that don't use this and are totally into racing and don't need an HD cam, they are into weight saving, and so that's probably the same reason why they don't glue on this rubber part here for people that don't use it. They want to save weight. So okay, I see why they don't mount this in the factory, but it's a bit of an fiddling around with it, but it's okay. In the same manner that you tilt your flight cam, as for me it's about 10 degrees, you should also tilt your antenna back, because if you fly forward, the back tilted antenna will then have an optimal radiation, because as I told you, it's like a donut, it's not a sphere, so it matters if you're in the right orientation plane. So this should be the perfect orientation. So it's a really nice quad, really looking forward to use it. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be the configuration, but yeah, I think this will maybe be a quick browse through the OSD and then already a maiden flight video, because you really don't have to do a lot of this.